Hi, I'm Christina with Little Sprouts Learning, and today I want to talk about parent relationships and setting boundaries. After 30 years of doing home daycare, I have learned that having a lot of communication and setting boundaries before you get started is the best way to be happy and thriving in your business. People will take advantage if you don't tell them what you want and need. And sometimes they don't understand, but sometimes people are also just absorbed in their own life and their own needs. And if you don't just say, like, if you're being late is a deal breaker for me, they don't understand that. And so you need to have a good contract, a professional contract that's as short as possible with as few rules as possible in it, so that people know what your deal breakers are. If you want to talk about more things that you'd like, you could put that in your policies, but your contract that they sign is the make or break. Like, for me, it's you need to drop off by 8:30 because we want to get started on our day. You need to pick up by 4:30 because I don't like working late, and you need to pay on time because I'm not working for free. They wouldn't either. And so I'm pretty lenient about everything else. There's a million hundred different rules that you could have if those things matter to you, but as far as kids bringing in outside food or outside toys, I don't care about that. I am deathly allergic to scents and perfumes and fragrances. So my deal breaker is don't be putting perfume on your kids. Don't let them wear cologne. Don't bring scented items. Don't bring me scented wipes. Don't bring in cinnamon food because I will die. And if I can't breathe, I can't work. So if I don't tell people that, they don't know. And so it's in the contract, and it's blood red. Danger, danger, danger. No scents and no cinnamon. And so, like, as far as them bringing in a Pop-Tart or some donuts, I don't care. If they want to bring in toys from home, I don't care. I do tell them if the toy is lost or broken. It's not my problem. I keep track of kids, not toys, and everybody knows that about me, so they're willing to deal with it. If they want their kids to bring toys or blankets or whatever. I'm just pretty laid back about everything else. I don't think everybody's out to get me. I don't think people are trying to put their responsibilities off on me. I just think people are stressed to the limit, they're maxed out, and they're doing the best they can. And if giving the kid a Pop-Tart on the way is what they got to do, then it's just not a hill worth dying on, and I don't care about it. But if you do, that needs to be in your deal-breaking things. What's going to make you happy? I want to get off on time, I want to get started on time, and I want to get paid on time. That's what matters to me. And you just have to be thinking about what matters to you. You need to communicate, communicate, communicate. When you're enrolling and onboarding, you need to be talking about this stuff. When you are making up your paperwork, you need to be talking about this stuff. When you have your annual conferences, you need to be talking about this stuff. Don't let people's behavior make it where your business is miserable. I have been in business for 30 years, so let me tell you. In the olden days, my hours were 7:30 to 5:30 when I started. People would always ask to come early, and I would always say yes, because I don't care about that. I'm an early morning person. I wake up happy and ready to work. People did not show up on time. They would come later and later. I had one mom that was very late a lot, and other moms saw her child there when they picked up at 5:30, so they just naturally decided they could leave their kids. I would make plans in the evening, and I would talk to the mom that worked later than everybody else, and then the other people wouldn't come, and I wouldn't get to go vote, or I wouldn't get to go out with my friends. I was angry a lot. I was tired. Working like 12 hours a day, and then you still have like an hour or to 2 hours every day of sweeping the floor, picking up the food, cleaning up, prepping food for the next day, getting out your activities for the next day, cleaning up your activities from today. Like, it's a lot outside of when the kids are here. It's a lot. And I try to get as much done as I can while they're napping, but still, at the end of the day, I have to do my food paperwork, I have to do my DHS paperwork. Like, it's a job. And so no matter how hard you try, there's still hours of work every week that have to be done outside of that. And I just was tired. And I kept birth to 12 age kids. Everybody just wanted me to do everything. So years went on, and I was just like, I absolutely will not work past 5:30. I am exhausted. I want time with my family. Stop doing it. People would still ask, and they'll say, oh, I got a meeting. Can I come at 5:30 in the morning? Yes, you can. They don't show up. You got up at 4:30, so you'd be ready to keep their kid at 5:30, but they decided whatever, and they don't bother to tell you. So that is really irritating. If I am going to open early, which occasionally I will do, I say, you better show up with that look on my face, because I don't want to get up for your kid and then you didn't. It's not fair. But if I don't communicate that, people don't know. People just think about their own needs, and they're generally inner focused. So, it's part of educating people. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. And I had to learn this over time. And I told everybody, like recently, I'm 54, so I'm getting tired, and I'm like, DHS is just a crap show right now of disrespect, abuse. They're horrible, and it's making the job unbearable. And I am called by God to do this job. This is what I was born to do. I get better at it every year. I've never been more myself than I am at this time in my life. I've learned so much. My reputation, I'm a legend in my community. But then here are the powers that be that are completely disrespectful to me. And it's exhausting. It's just heartbreaking. It's devastating. And it's hard every day to get up and face it, because even though the kids are my jam, I still have to deal with them. They still come. They still have their stupid, overreaching regulations that they keep pouring on and pouring on. They still keep sending out hateful emails and newsletters. They still keep hiring abusive workers, licensors, inspectors. And it is old and moldy. Like, I'm just done. And so I told people, like, I'm getting exhausted. I want to serve the community. So I'm going to, I could either, like, maybe close at noon on Fridays, or I could work 4 days a week, or I could shorten my hours to 7:30 to 4:30. That's still 9 hours, folks. That's still 9 hours. That's more than most people work. 45 hours with the kids is still more than most people work at their jobs. Plus, at least 5 to 15 hours a week outside of when they're here. Plus, CPR and first aid and all the other training that you have to have. Paperwork, cleaning, lesson plans. I mean, it goes on and on and on. I don't know very many people that work 80, 90, and 100 hours a week for $3 an hour. Because when you add it all up, you take out all the expenses, because it's expensive to provide care, even though it costs a lot of money to have a provider. I understand it's a lot of people's income, but I'm not sure that everybody understands that it's so expensive to do it. And it works out, what I make is about $3 an hour, a little bit less. Really is a labor of love, and I do love it. But my parents were like, we could make 4:30 work, and so I just changed my hours to 7:30 to 4:30. I did have a couple of people that need to be to work at 7:30, and they work very close by, so I allow them to come at 7:20. And that's not a problem. I still, like I said, I'm alive and awake. I wake up at 4-ish every morning, get out of bed around 5, because I, dream that I'm going to be sleeping, but I'm not. And I start working on the blog and do that for a couple of hours before work, and I'm happy and alive at that time. So I don't mind 7:20. I don't feel like that's taking advantage or anything like that. But if you do mind, say no. If you're not a morning person and that's not your jam, open at 9 o'clock. You need to figure out what works for you and for your family and set those boundaries. I have a friend that works Monday through Thursday, and people are always like, well, I need Friday. She gets it, but so does she. She can't do it all. So her thing is working Monday through Thursday, And then a lot of people would have time to spend with their grandkids, or, a lot of people have that. A lot of parents work from home, so they could just keep them at home one day a week if they had care most of the time. So you need to find the boundaries that make your business make you happy, because doing everything that everybody wants is, man, it's a trap. It'll wear you out, makes you bitter and angry. And so I don't want to be that. So I just try to tell people, like, these are my needs, these are my needs, these are my needs. And there are times, like, things happen. People are late once in a while. And, you just have to remember that people are human. If someone is taking advantage all the time, it might be time to have a talk with them. And if they don't want to respect that, maybe that's not the best family for you. And that's hard to do because we're caretakers. But this is the most important job in the world, but it's also one of the hardest. And I'm just rooting for you to get out there and stand up for yourself and set those boundaries and make the job work for you so you can be happy. I'm rooting for you.